6 lucky numbers to win big and get rich on June 17th, 2025. Buddhist teachings. Luck is what happens when preparation meets awareness. Inspired by Buddhist wisdom, have you been seeing the same numbers lately? On clocks, receipts, or even in dreams? That's not just coincidence, it's the universe speaking. And on June 17th, 2025, 6 lucky numbers may hold the key to unlocking unexpected fortune. In Buddhist teachings, nothing is truly random. Numbers carry energy, intention, and messages. Those who stay mindful can sense when the universe is aligning in their favor. Today on The Journey of Wisdom, we'll explore 6 powerful numbers vibrating with rare energy this month and a secret 7th number to amplify your intention and attract prosperity. So breathe in, stay with me to the end, and type in the comments, "I welcome the signs, I open to abundance." Let's begin your journey to alignment and good fortune together. 1. Number 5. Momentum and redirection. There are moments in life when everything feels stagnant, as if we are living on autopilot, waking, working, thinking the same thoughts, moving through the same routines, and wondering quietly, is this it? It's a feeling many between the ages of 30 and 65 can relate to, especially when responsibilities and the weight of years begin to feel more like chains than stepping stones. But then, seemingly out of nowhere, a subtle shift occurs, a sense that something needs to change. This is not random. In Buddhist numerology and sacred symbolism, the number 5 holds the energy of transformation, motion, and spiritual awakening. June 2025 carries the powerful vibration of this number, gently stirring the still waters of our lives. Think of it like a breeze entering a room that has long been closed. It doesn't ask for permission, yet with its arrival, the stale air moves and the atmosphere begins to change. Just as the Buddha said, "Just as a candle cannot burn without fire, men cannot live without a spiritual life." The energy of 5 doesn't always arrive in loud, dramatic ways. It may come in the form of unexpected changes in plans, emotions rising uninvited, or a sudden urge to try something unfamiliar. These are not obstacles, they are gentle redirections. The universe doesn't always speak in grand gestures, it often whispers through subtle cues. And this momentum is not just external. True transformation also happens within. You might find yourself drawn to a new walk in your neighborhood, picking up a book you've been meaning to read, or simply asking deeper questions about your habits and path. In these small shifts lies the seed of awakening. Of course, allowing this movement into your life may bring unpredictability, anxiety even. But remember the Zen saying, "Let go or be dragged." When we resist change, we suffer. When we flow with it, we begin to discover new versions of ourselves. Just as rivers carve valleys and reshape landscapes, life too reshapes us when we allow it. June is your time to allow. Let the energy of the number 5 take you somewhere new, not so you can escape who you are, but so you can rediscover yourself in deeper, more vibrant ways. 2. Number 3. Joyful expression and inner light. Number 3 is the vibration of joyful expression, a gentle invitation to reconnect with the light that already lives inside you. Maybe you've felt it lately, that urge to laugh for no reason, to hum a tune that reminds you of your childhood, or to say something real without filtering it for others' approval. That's not random. It's the energy of number 3 calling you back to your essence. This number isn't just about luck in the traditional sense, it's about the kind of luck that arises when you start living as your true self, without the pressure to be perfect. In June 2025, the presence of number 3 reminds us that healing doesn't always come through hard work. It can also arrive through laughter, through speaking our truth, and through small acts of creativity that reconnect us to who we really are. You don't need a big platform to start. You just need a moment of courage. So ask yourself, when was the last time you allowed yourself to be silly, honest, or unfiltered? Have you been dimming your light to fit into someone else's mold? This month, try something simple. Write in your journal without editing. Send a friend a message that reflects how you really feel, or create something just because it brings you joy. These aren't just feel-good actions, they're spiritual practices. They remind your soul that it's safe to show up, to speak up, and to shine. And when you start living from that space, life begins to meet you with unexpected blessings, like-minded people, heart-opening conversations, or a sudden wave of inspiration you didn't know you needed. The lesson here is clear. Joy is sacred, and self-expression is healing. You don't need anyone's permission to be fully you. So as you move through this month, don't just chase success, follow what lights you up inside. Let number 3 be your reminder that the richest life is not the one that looks perfect, but the one that feels real. What's one thing you can do today that brings you closer to that version of yourself? This is your invitation, not just to win, but to feel alive again. 3. Number 44, as the master anchor. If you've ever felt like life is moving too fast, like you're being pulled in a dozen directions at once and don't know where to plant your feet, then pause with me for a moment, because the number 44 may hold something important for you. It's not just a number. In spiritual traditions, especially in numerology, 44 is called the master anchor, a symbol of inner strength, quiet resilience, and unwavering discipline. It's the energy of something deeply rooted, like the trunk of a tree that has stood through 100 storms, not flashy, not loud, but enduring. And as we step into June 17th, 2025, this number invites us to return to that quiet strength inside ourselves. You see, the journey to wealth, whether financial, emotional, or spiritualis, not about racing toward luck or chasing fast results. It's about building something solid, one choice at a time. The Buddha once said, "Endurance is one of the most difficult disciplines, but final victory comes to the one who endures." In this way, 44 doesn't promise overnight riches. It guides you to create wealth through grounded effort and intentional living. Ask yourself, what part of your life right now feels unstable? Where are you acting out of panic instead of purpose? 44 is that steady voice, reminding you that even in chaos, you can choose calm, patience, and consistency. In Buddhist practice, we learn that the middle way, not extreme indulgence or extreme denial, is the path to peace. Similarly, 44 calls you to stay balanced, focused, and present. This number is not magic, it's a mirror showing you what's already within, your ability to grow slowly but surely, to build foundations that will hold up under pressure, and to trust in the process even when results take time. So as this number appears in your life this June, don't just see it as lucky, see it as a wise teacher. What does being anchored look like for you today? How can you show up with steady energy, especially when the world around you feels unsteady? Let this master anchor guide your choices, and remember, true abundance flows to those who are ready, rooted, and patient. If you've made it this far, you're already aligning with the energy of abundance and fortune this June 17th. Comment below with "lucky path" to show your readiness to receive these powerful blessings. Don't miss a second. Stay with us until the end to discover all 6 lucky numbers and the deeper Buddhist wisdom behind attracting true wealth and well-being. 4. Number 22. The energy of steady creation. There comes a moment in life when quiet determination outweighs loud ambition, when clarity feels more powerful than excitement, and when the heart says, "Now is the time." The number 22 carries this rare energy, the energy of steady creation, the silent force behind great works that stand the test of time. In spiritual numerology, 22 is called the master builder or the master architect, not because it shouts its potential, but because it knows how to patiently translate vision into reality. This isn't a number of fleeting inspiration or dramatic breakthroughs. It's the energy of sustained effort, thoughtful action, and enduring commitment. As we approach June 17th, 2025, this vibration becomes especially significant. It whispers not of luck in the flashy sense, but of profound alignment between intention and action. If you've been waiting for a sign to stop merely wishing and start shaping your dreams, this is it. As the Buddha taught, with our thoughts we make the world, but it is our actions, guided by wisdom, that give those thoughts form. The number 22 mirrors the Buddhist principle of Redirection, part of the Noble Eightfold Path, which is not about pushing or forcing, but about the consistency of applying ourselves with mindfulness and compassion. It's the quiet discipline of tending to a garden even when the flowers haven't bloomed yet, knowing they will in time. In modern life, where instant gratification and loud success stories often overshadow inner work, 22 gently reminds us that real wealth, spiritual, emotional, or material, is built brick by brick, choice by choice. Whether you're building a business, mending a relationship, strengthening your health, or trying to find a deeper sense of purpose, let June be the month where you move, not with haste, but with faith. Let your steps be slow but certain, your actions small but sincere, and your intentions anchored in service to something greater than yourself. A jug fills drop by drop. The Buddha once said, and so does a life of meaning. You don't have to rush, just begin, and let the universe meet you with the quiet magic of steady momentum. 5. Number 11. The energy of subtle awakening. Let's explore the quiet, powerful energy of the number 11, one of those spiritual signs that doesn't shout for your attention, but gently waits for you to notice it. Think of it like a whisper in a noisy world. You may not hear it at first, but once you slow down, it becomes unmistakable. The number 11 isn't just two ones standing side by side. It's what many spiritual traditions, including Buddhist thought, recognize as a master number, a symbol of deeper awareness, intuition, and a kind of inner wisdom that doesn't need noise to be known. In Buddhism, we often say that truth is not found in the chaos, but in silence, and that's exactly the realm where 11 lives. It's subtle, but powerful. It reflects the quiet moments of awakening that often go unnoticed unless we are fully present. So ask yourself, when was the last time you allowed yourself to be still enough to feel rather than just think? In this transformative month of June 2025, the energy of 11 is said to be stronger, not in loud or dramatic events, but in the small moments that change everything. Have you seen 11:11 on the clock and felt something stir within you? Do you get the sense that certain signs are trying to speak to you? These aren't coincidences, they're subtle nudges from the universe, encouraging you to pay closer attention. Buddhism teaches us that the path to awakening often begins with awareness, and the number 11 is like a mirror, inviting you to look inward. Can you trust that quiet inner voice more than the noise of the world around you? That's where the real power lies, not in changing your outside world, but in changing how you see it. This month, let the number 11 guide you back to your intuition. If a creative idea pops into your head out of nowhere, don't dismiss it. If you feel drawn to reach out to someone or pursue a path that doesn't quite make sense, yet feels completely right in your heart, follow it. This is what it means to align with your higher self, to act from clarity rather than confusion, and from wisdom rather than fear. The energy of 11 invites you to level up your perception, to begin noticing the sacred patterns hidden in your daily life, and to walk through the doors that are quietly opening for you. So pause for a moment today. Look around. What messages are showing up in the background of your life? What dreams, numbers, or feelings keep returning to you? The number 11 doesn't force change, it invites it. And it offers you a path of alignment, where you're not chasing luck or riches in a chaotic world, but recognizing the wealth that comes from true understanding. As the Buddha taught, the way is not in the sky, the way is in the heart. Let that be your guide this June. And remember, the most powerful transformations don't always come with noise. They come with awareness, trust, and the courage to follow your inner truth. What is your inner voice telling you today? 6. Number 10. A spiritual checkpoint. Let's talk about the number 10 not just as a number you see on your hands or a score you strive for, but as a spiritual checkpoint in your journey. In Buddhist thought, life is not a straight line but a circle, a cycle of growth, learning, and transformation. And the number 10 often symbolizes the closing of one full rotation on that wheel of completion, yes, but more importantly, a moment of pause before the next step begins. As we move closer to June 17th, 2025, the energy of this number starts to stir not with noise or drama, but in the quiet shifts within your heart. You may not see fireworks, but maybe you've already felt it. A subtle tug, a sense that something within you is changing, finishing, evolving. Can you feel it, that gentle awareness that you're not who you used to be, and that something new is forming in the silence? Perhaps you've spent the past weeks or even years working in the background, healing wounds no one could see, staying committed to your path when applause was absent, showing up for yourself in small but powerful ways. That quiet strength is not lost. It's been recorded in the rhythm of the universe. The number 10 is here to remind you that you didn't go through all of that just to stay the same. In the Dhammapada, the Buddha teaches, what we are today comes from our thoughts of yesterday, and our present thoughts build our life of tomorrow. That means everything you've endured, the doubts, the delays, the invisible progress has been preparing you for this turning point. But here's the key. The number 10 isn't about rushing into something new. It's about grounding yourself, feeling the shift, and stepping forward with presence, not pressure. Every obstacle has been shaping a deeper version of you, one that no longer seeks validation but moves with quiet confidence. So I invite you to reflect deeply. What cycle in your life is naturally concluding? What new path is calling you not with force, but with quiet certainty? When you walk in harmony with the energy of 10, you stop waiting for abundance to arrive. You realize it's been walking beside you all along, waiting for you to recognize it. You're not here by accident. These 6 lucky numbers may be the sign you've been waiting for. Type "Fortune Awakens" in the comments to claim your energy of wealth and growth. Watch all the way through to discover how Buddhist teachings can help you attract not just money, but a richer, more meaningful life. Rich people all have these habits. Have you ever wondered why some people seem to attract wealth so naturally, while others struggle no matter how hard they try? Is it luck? Is it a privilege? Or could it be something deeper, like their daily habits, their mindset, or even the way they respond to life? Today, we're not just talking about money. We're exploring real wealth, the kind that brings peace, purpose, and prosperity. Now, we'll look at the powerful habits many rich people share and how they surprisingly align with the timeless teachings of the Buddha. Because in the end, wealth isn't just about what's in your bank account, it's also about what's in your heart and how you live. Let's begin this journey of wisdom together. Number 1. They practice discipline. One of the most consistently observed habits among wealthy individuals is their deep commitment to discipline. This doesn't just mean waking up at 5 a.m. or keeping a tidy calendar. It's a mindset that governs how they approach time, choices, and personal growth. Discipline in their lives becomes a foundation for freedom. They understand that every small choice, whether to snooze the alarm, delay a task, or give in to short-term pleasure, either builds or erodes their future. This kind of consistency isn't born from pressure or punishment. It arises from a deep recognition that their life energy is limited and they must use it with intention. In Buddhism, this principle echoes right effort, a part of the Noble Eightfold Path. It teaches us to prevent unwholesome states from arising, abandon those that have, cultivate wholesome qualities, and maintain them. This kind of effort is not frantic or harsh, but gentle and mindful, like a gardener who patiently weeds and nurtures a garden over time. Wealthy individuals apply this same steady effort to their lives. They track their goals, stick to habits, and protect their focus. A Zen proverb reminds us, "When walking, walk. When eating, eat." It means be fully present and committed to what you are doing. This clarity, this one-pointedness, is what many successful people develop over years of disciplined living. In modern life, where distractions are constant and temptations easily accessible, discipline can feel like an uphill battle. We are flooded with choices, social media, endless scrolling, impulsive spending, and it's easy to justify, "Just for today, I'll skip it." But wealth, whether spiritual or material, is built on what we do daily, not occasionally. The difference lies not in massive actions, but in the quiet rituals we maintain when no one is watching. One of the greatest obstacles people face is waiting for motivation to appear. Yet, the wise know it's discipline that creates momentum, not the other way around. As the Buddha said, "A disciplined mind brings happiness." This simple but profound truth reminds us that self-mastery leads to a kind of inner wealth, peace, clarity, and purpose, which often reflects outwardly in material success as well. Therefore, it's not about imitating the habits of the rich for vanity or greed. It's about understanding the roots of those habits: self-respect, clarity of purpose, and compassionate discipline. When you begin to apply this principle in your own life, start gently. Set one small, clear goal each morning and commit to it with sincerity. Whether it's waking up on time, meditating for 10 minutes, or simply eating a mindful breakfast, let that be your anchor. From there, build slowly. As your inner discipline grows, so does your ability to handle challenges, remain calm in chaos, and act with wisdom rather than impulse. The results may not be immediate, but over time, the compound effect becomes undeniable. The lotus flower, one of Buddhism's most powerful symbols, grows through the mud slowly, steadily, until it blossoms in beauty. Your discipline is the root pushing through that mud. Remember this: wealth is not just about money, it is about how richly you live each moment. As Confucius wisely said, "The man who moves a mountain begins by carrying away small stones." Carry yours with awareness, and soon your path will be clear. Number 2, they value learning. One powerful habit that stands out in the lives of successful and wealthy people is their deep respect for learning. This isn't just about formal education or chasing degrees, it's about a lifelong hunger to grow, to understand more, and to become better than they were yesterday. Whether it's through reading books, listening to mentors, attending seminars, or simply reflecting on their everyday experiences, rich people constantly seek knowledge because they understand that learning is what keeps them adaptable, wise, and ahead of the curve. Have you ever noticed how those who achieve great things rarely think they know it all? Instead, they're often the ones asking the most questions, staying curious, and being open to new ideas. They know that the world is always changing, and if they stop learning, they risk falling behind, not just in business, but in life itself. In Buddhism, this thirst for learning is deeply respected. The Buddha once said, "A fool who recognizes his own ignorance is a wise man, but a fool who thinks he is wise is a fool indeed." This quote holds a mirror to our ego. It reminds us that real wisdom begins when we acknowledge how much we don't know. Think about that for a moment, thou. Often do we close ourselves off from new understanding just because we're afraid to admit we might be wrong or uninformed. True learners aren't afraid to say, "I don't know." In fact, they find strength in that honesty. That's the humility that opens the door to growth. When we humble ourselves before the vastness of knowledge and experience, life starts teaching us in every moment through the people we meet, the mistakes we make, and even the quiet stillness in our daily lives. So, ask yourself, are you approaching life with curiosity, or have you stopped growing because you think you already know enough? It's not about having all the answers. It's about being willing to keep asking better questions. Rich people, truly successful people, treat every day like a classroom. They read not to impress others, but to deepen their understanding. They listen not just to reply, but to learn something new. And they surround themselves with people who challenge their thinking, not just those who agree with them. This kind of mindset doesn't just build financial wealth, it creates emotional intelligence, stronger relationships, and a more grounded sense of purpose. In Buddhist thought, learning isn't separate from living. Every moment offers us a lesson if we're open to seeing it. Whether you're washing dishes, walking through nature, or having a conversation, there is always something to observe, something to understand, something to grow from. The more we cultivate awareness and curiosity, the more life becomes a rich field of discovery. And when we stop learning, we become rigid, stuck in patterns that no longer serve us. But when we keep learning, we remain open, flexible, and alive. So, what can you take away from this? First, be humbly acknowledge that there's always more to learn. Second, be curious, let your questions lead you, not your fear of not knowing. And third, be consistent, make learning a daily practice, whether it's through reading, listening, reflecting, or simply staying present in your experiences. Remember, wealth isn't just about money, it's also about wisdom. And wisdom comes to those who seek it, one humble step at a time. Number 3. They take responsibility. Let me ask you something. When things go wrong in your life, who do you tend to blame first? Is it someone else, the situation, or maybe even just bad luck? Now, take a moment to consider this. What if I told you that one of the most powerful habits among successful and wealthy individuals is not intelligence, talent, or even having the right connections, but something far simpler? They take full responsibility for their lives. Yes, you heard that right. Rich and highly accomplished people develop the habit of owning their actions, their mistakes, and their outcomes. They don't point fingers. They don't play the victim. They understand a fundamental truth. Your life is shaped by the choices you make, not by the circumstances you're handed. This mindset deeply reflects a core teaching in Buddhism known as karma or karmatha, law of cause and effect. The Buddha taught, we are the heirs of our actions. In other words, what you do, how you think, and the intentions behind your actions plant the seeds for the experiences you will harvest in the future. And here's the beauty of it. When you accept this truth, you no longer need to wait for someone else to change in order for your life to improve. That's incredibly empowering, isn't it? You're not a puppet of fate. You are the sculptor of your own path. So, why is taking responsibility so essential to both spiritual and financial growth? Because without it, you give your power away. Think of someone who constantly blames others for their lack of success. My boss doesn't like me. The economy is bad. No one helped me. While these statements might be partially true, living in them creates a cage. There's no room to grow if you believe you're stuck because of forces outside your control. But now imagine a shift. What if you said instead, what can I learn from this? Or, What did I do, knowingly or unknowingly, that led to this situation? This shift is the beginning of transformation. It's not self-blame, it's self-ownership. And from that place, true progress becomes possible. Buddhism encourages us to look within, not to find fault, but to cultivate awareness. Master Xingyun once said, "Responsibility is the spirit of self-reliance and confidence." Taking responsibility doesn't mean beating yourself up for every setback. It means standing tall in both your victories and your failures, and recognizing that your inner choices matter. This also invites a deep sense of freedom. When you live with integrity and take responsibility, no one else controls your peace of mind. Now, I want you to really reflect. Where in your life are you still waiting for someone else to change before you take action? What story have you been telling yourself that might be keeping you stuck? And what would your life look like if, starting today, you decided to take 100% ownership, not just for the things that go well, but also for the things that don't? When we let go of blame, we gain clarity. When we accept what is, without excuses, we step into our full potential. This is not only a trait of wealthy people, it's a trait of wise people. And wealth, by the way, isn't just measured in money, it's measured in peace, in generosity, in purpose. As the Dhammapada says, by oneself is evil done, by oneself is one defiled, by oneself is evil left undone, by oneself is one made pure. Purity and impurity depend on oneself. No one can purify another. That teaching reminds us that freedom and success, in all forms, begin from within. So, as you move forward this week, ask yourself, what small habit of responsibility can I begin to practice today? Whether it's following through on your promises, owning your emotions, or even just being honest with yourself about where you've been avoiding responsibility, it's these quiet, consistent acts that shape your destiny. Remember, you're not just living a life, you are creating it, moment by moment. And every moment is a chance to begin again. The difference between dreaming about wealth and actually achieving it often comes down to habits. If you're serious about changing your future, drop wealth habits in the comments. Keep watching, there's more wisdom ahead that could transform your life. Number 4. They practice generosity. One of the most consistent habits you'll find among truly wealthy people, not just financially rich, but deeply fulfilled, is the practice of generosity. This isn't simply about writing a check or donating to a cause for a tax break. At its core, it's about cultivating a mindset of giving, of sharing your energy, resources, time, and knowledge in ways that uplift others. You'll often notice that those who have reached a certain level of success are quick to support others, whether that's mentoring a younger colleague, funding a community project, or helping a friend start a business. The act of giving creates ripple effects, often returning to the giver in forms they didn't expect. Stronger networks, deeper purpose, a clearer mind, and even more opportunities. It's not a coincidence, it's a law of life that when we give freely, we signal to the world and to ourselves that we are abundant, not lacking. This aligns beautifully with one of the foundational teachings in Buddhism, dana, the practice of generosity. It is no small thing that this is considered the first of the 10 perfections, or paramis, on the path toward enlightenment. Why first? Because generosity softens the grip of self-centeredness. It starts to loosen our attachment to what we own, and it begins the journey of transforming the ego into something far more spacious and compassionate. For those of us living modern lives navigating careers, families, bills, and ambitions, this teaching isn't about giving everything away. Rather, it's about shifting our orientation from scarcity to abundance, from hoarding to sharing. Even small acts, a kind word, a helpful suggestion, a few minutes of undivided attention carry the spirit of dana. They don't cost anything, but they carry immeasurable value. And here's where this becomes truly powerful. Generosity is not a loss, it's a gain. Wealthy people understand that giving is not about what leaves your hand, but what it opens your heart to receive. A generous mindset builds trust, strengthens relationships, and invites support when it's needed most. It clears the inner clutter of greed and fear, allowing clarity and confidence to take root. Think about it: when you help someone without expecting anything in return, doesn't it energize you? That inner upliftment, that sense of connectedness, is a form of wealth too. And often, this emotional and spiritual wealth is what gives people the resilience and vision to build more tangible success. In today's fast-moving world, where we're constantly told to get more, it's radical and healing to practice give more. Generosity brings balance. It reminds us that we're not alone, and that our well-being is deeply intertwined with others. So, as you reflect on your own journey, consider how you might bring more giving into your daily life. Not just as an act of kindness, but as a deliberate, empowering habit that enhances your inner wealth and outer success. Whether you have a little or a lot, you always have something to give, and in giving, you might just discover how rich you already are. Number 5. They focus on value, not just money. Let me share something that might shift the way you think about success. Wealthy people, those who build lasting success, don't just chase money, they focus on value. What does that mean? It means they ask themselves, how can I solve a real problem? How can I help others in a meaningful way? You see, true wealth is often not the result of luck or even pure hard work. It's the natural outcome of serving others and solving problems that matter. When you look closely, some of the most successful people in the world didn't start with the goal of becoming rich. Instead, they were driven by a purpose: to bring value to people's lives. That's the key difference. Money becomes a side effect of their deeper intention. Now ask yourself, what kind of value are you offering the world? This question can be a powerful guide, whether you're starting a business, working a job, or simply interacting with your community. Focusing on value transforms how you work. It moves you from chasing short-term wins to creating long-term meaning. You stop looking for quick fixes and start building something real, something that lasts. This doesn't mean you have to be the next big tech founder or invent something revolutionary. It could be as simple as bringing extra care into your work, listening more deeply to others, or offering a solution that makes someone's day just a little better. Real wealth is rooted in contribution, not accumulation. This way of thinking deeply aligns with the Buddhist teaching of right livelihood. In the Eightfold Path, right livelihood asks us to earn our living in a way that causes no harm and, ideally, benefits others. It's not just about how much you make, it's about how you make it. Are your actions kind? Are they honest? Do they leave the world a little better than you found it? When wealthy individuals succeed by creating value and doing it with integrity, they are, knowingly or not, walking a path similar to the one the Buddha taught. So here's something to reflect on. If you let go of the pressure to get rich fast and instead asked, what problem am I solving? Who am I helping? How would that change the way you approach your life and work? Often, when we focus on creating real value, success shows up not because we chase it, but because we've aligned ourselves with service, purpose, and sincerity. When people trust you, when they see that you're solving something important or lifting others up, they come back, they recommend you. Opportunities open up. Remember this simple but powerful truth. Value creates wealth, not the other way around. If you can shift your mindset to one of service and contribution, you're already rich in the most important way. So, whether you're starting from zero or just looking to grow, let value be your compass. Money may come and go, but the value you give to others that stays, that builds relationships, reputation, and real success. Lesson to take with you. Don't just chase money, chase meaning. Align your actions with the principle of right livelihood. Ask yourself how your work and your life can be of service. When your efforts are rooted in value, success follows naturally, and you find not only wealth but also peace, purpose, and fulfillment. Number 6. They manage their emotions. Let's talk about something many people overlook when thinking about wealth and success: emotional self-mastery. When we observe people who've built real, lasting wealth, whether it's in business, relationships, or personal growth, there's one habit they tend to share. They know how to manage their emotions, not suppress, not ignore, but manage. And I want you to reflect on this for a moment. How often do your emotions shape your decisions? Think about the times you reacted in anger, or when fear held you back from taking a necessary step. Now, contrast that with a time when you stayed calm, patient, and clear-headed. Didn't things usually work out better? Emotional intelligence isn't just about being nice or polite. It's the ability to stay composed under stress, to remain patient when others are losing their cool, and to express yourself clearly even when things are hard. Wealthy people, and here I'm not just talking about material wealth, but emotional and spiritual richness too, know that if they let emotions drive their actions blindly, they'll end up creating more problems than progress. They understand the power of emotional stability. It allows them to build trust, make better decisions, and avoid burning bridges. Can you see how mastering your inner world can directly affect the outer one? The Buddha said, "Better than 1,000 hollow words is one word that brings peace." Emotional mastery gives you that power to respond with peace, with clarity, with understanding. It's not about being emotionless, it's about being emotionally wise. In modern terms, we call it emotional intelligence, but in Buddhist practice, it's nurtured through mindfulness and meditation. When you sit quietly and observe your thoughts, you begin to realize that feelings like anger, fear, and envy rise and fall like waves. They don't define you, they visit you. And with mindfulness, you don't need to react to every wave. The Dhammapada teaches us, "Greater in battle than the man who would conquer 1,000 men is he who would conquer just one himself." That's the heart of it. Real strength isn't in overpowering others, it's in taming your own mind. And this is something every one of us can begin practicing right now. You don't need to be a billionaire or a monk to start observing your breath, to take a pause before responding in anger, or to reflect instead of react. This is a daily practice. You train your emotional muscles just like you'd train your body at the gym. So, I ask you, what emotions tend to get the better of you? Is it impatience, jealousy, fear, or maybe self-doubt? Whatever it is, recognize that awareness is the first step toward mastery. Start noticing your emotional triggers. Begin with small moments when someone cuts you off in traffic or when a coworker is rude. You don't have to react instantly. Take a breath. In that space, you regain control. Over time, this inner balance becomes your strength, and that strength is deeply magnetic. People trust you more, you think clearer, you lead better, you connect more authentically. This is what truly successful people, especially those who radiate a sense of peace and clarity, do consistently. They make emotional regulation a daily habit, just like brushing their teeth or checking their schedule. Let me leave you with this thought. If you don't rule your mind will rule you. So, are you mastering your emotions, or are your emotions mastering you? And there you have it, 6 powerful numbers to guide your energy, and maybe even your fortune, on June 17th, 2025. But more importantly, these numbers are reminders to live with awareness, intention, and alignment with the deeper truths of life. Whether you're seeking wealth, wisdom, or simply more peace in your heart, remember, The greatest luck comes when we live in harmony with ourselves and the universe. If this video brought you insight or inspiration, please like, share, and subscribe to The Journey of Wisdom. And don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you never miss our upcoming videos, each one designed to help you grow, align, and awaken. Until next time, may you walk with clarity, speak with kindness, and live each day as a sacred opportunity. Be well and keep walking the path of wisdom.